Hi there, welcome in my studio. At this time, I'm not able to organize any exhibition, but I got a lot of work to show to you. The last couple of months, I've been working very hard on many pieces, and also the past year has brought a lot of new artwork. So my idea was to organize an online art exhibition for you. So grab a cup of tea, cookies, a glass of wine, whatever you like, and enjoy the show. I will tell a short story about each painting that I've made. This one I made last year, exactly a year ago. I've been painting outside on location with a client of mine, and we've been working there all day. I didn't know what flowers it were, but I asked some people who were passing by, and one of them told me these are spring sunflowers. So that's also the title of the work. And I worked until evening because the light went brighter and brighter, and I just wanted to capture that. It was very cold, and I had no drink, no food, I had nothing, no extra clothes. So I took some pictures with my camera and went home, and the day after I finished it with acrylic inks as well. You can see it in the flowers, they are very detailed. And the size of this one is 50 by 40 centimeter. And you can also see the frame. That's also the frame that I use to frame the other paintings. I haven't framed them yet. That's a benefit of online exhibiting. You don't have to frame everything. So this is an example in which you can see how it looks like when it is framed. This painting I've made last year for the online class Fabulous Flower Fields. We've been searching for poppies and cornflowers, which is also the title of this one, Poppy and Cornflower Field. We've been searching for places to work, which were quiet to work, which had a good background, a good scene, and also, of course, a wonderful poppy field. At first, we searched for places around our house, and there were a lot of flowers there. But we wanted a spectacular thing. So we had a look on Instagram, hashtag Poppyfield, the Netherlands, or finally we came out in Belgium, and we saw this amazing field on that picture, and well, we needed to go there. We had to, and we came there, and it was the most wonderful poppy field I've ever seen in all my life. And there were some cornflowers in it as well, and those were exactly the flowers that I wanted to paint for this class. So it was perfect. And I worked partly on location in the field, and we had to go back because it was starting to rain, and I finished it, I completed it in my studio at home. The final result, I made it on canvas. It's 80 by 60 centimeter, and it's acrylic and acrylic ink. You can especially see the ink in the close-up detailed flowers in the foreground. Last year I painted a series of dune landscapes. As we're living close to the sea, the dunes, and there's also a great forest where you can walk. We were walking there a lot, but not as much as we do right now at the moment. So I gathered a lot of inspiration out of that place and that area. This one is called Hawthorne, and well, I think it's exactly a year ago because the hawthorns are starting to blossom right now. So maybe I can paint another one this year. The size is 40 by 40 centimeter, and it's acrylic on canvas. The next one in the series of June landscapes is ragwort, and as you see, it's a path filled with ragwort. And also that is something that is flowering right at the moment. It's a lot earlier this year than last year, because I think I painted this around the end of May, start of June. So, and it's now the start of May, so everything is a bit early. The size is 40 by 40 centimeters, and it's acrylic on canvas. The last one of this series is Little House, and this is the only one that I've made up completely, so I had no picture. I was just playing with the color of red that I used for the field below and the roof of the little house. The size of the canvas is also 40 by 40 centimeters, and it's acrylic on canvas. This one is called Water Lilies, and it was another beautiful day in July, and I've been painting with my client again, and we had a sunny day and a beautiful pound of water lilies. And I finished it when I was in my studio because it was a large canvas. It's 60 by 60 centimeters, and it's all acrylic on canvas. The funny thing is that when I was preparing this exhibition for you, I found this water lily painting from 2018 in my studio as well. So I wanted to show it to you. It's the same size, 60 by 60 centimeters, and it's acrylic on canvas. And I made it exactly on the same place, maybe not exactly the same spot. So my question is, what will the water lilies of 2020 look like? Last year we've been to Latvia on holiday, but also to celebrate the wedding of my partner's son, his oldest son. And we rented a house, and this beautiful lake was there. I swam in it each day, but I also got on the island. And one day it was beautiful weather, and I've painted this island and with birch trees, and I loved it. It was a beautiful place, and it's a canvas from 40 by 40 centimeter, but it's also a 3D, so it's a bit thicker than the other ones that I've shown you so far. And I will show you also how it looks like from the back, and then you can see how I framed it. Last year, we've also been to France to record the online course Trees and Analyte. And this one I painted at the house where we stayed, La Pousse, and it was in the little town La Chapelle, an hour from Toulouse. And the surroundings were beautiful. It was a bit dry, but I loved it. It was autumn already, and this was an exercise, a little startup for myself before we record the three painting sessions, which I've completed at home in my studio. Uh, it's partly done with acrylic paint, partly with acrylic ink, and it's also a 40 by 40 canvas on 3D. I've painted this one in France as well. It was a complete new direction with this one, by painting all the flowers more in an abstract way. It's called Rose Garden, and it's 60 by 60 centimeters, and it's acrylic on canvas. You will see a lot more of this style in my paintings of 2020. At the end of 2019, I've been working on a series of angels, and those are mixed media angels. They are made by little patterned papers, the dresses at least. And well, I was at the same time working on a project about Gustav Klimt with my children's students and my adult students. And we've been painting all a Klimt angel or a Klimt tree. And these are my two Klimt angels, the yellow one and the blue one. And they're both the size 20 by 20 centimeters, and they're made on wood. And if you like this style and you want to try it yourself, we are now working on recording new online classes, and the Mixed Media Angels is one of them. The next one is called Dune Girl, and it is one of the three larger works of 2019. The other ones I have sold, and they were also with women in it. And this one I started when I was painting the June Landscapes series, and I was working on it. It was very abstract, and at a given point I saw that there needed to be a woman in it, and that's her, the Dune Girl. The size is 120 by 80 centimeters, and it's also a 3D canvas, and it's all made with acrylic paint. I've started 2020 with these two paintings. I wanted to use another new color palette, and especially I wanted to add the color of pink, this one. And I experienced that when I was mixing colors, I was having this this color, and I mixed it with these greens, then I got this color, adding a little white maybe, but and I really loved that one. And I wanted to experiment and play with it later on. So you will see the color definitely coming back in my paintings. This I made at the start of 2020, and yeah, it was really early for me to choose another color palette than I was used to. Maybe normally I have that in spring, and now it was a bit earlier, it was January. They're both 70 by 100 centimeters, so if you have them both, it's 140 by 100 centimeters, and it's acrylic on canvas. Shortly after I've painted the flower dreams, I'd made this one, and it's called Blossom Dream. I've been very inspired by the exhibition about Monet. It was in The Hague in February 2020, and after we went to the exhibition, it was actually the last day that we could. I've painted this one, not knowing I was going in that direction, but I was just adding a lot of layers upon it. There's a lot of texture. You can feel it. If you're blind, it will be, I think it will be a rich experience as well. Even the leaves here are giving a lot of texture. And of course, I added my new favorite pink. So I'm very proud of this one. It's acrylic and acrylic ink on canvas, and the size is 50 by 100 centimeters. The next painting is also a piece that I've been working on in 2019, and I finished it this year. It's called Girl Between the Flowers. The size is 50 by 20 centimeters, and it's all acrylic and acrylic ink on canvas. And this painting is called Mini Rose Garden. I started it last year, but I continued with it this year and completed it this year. It's based on a picture that I saw on Instagram from someone that I'm following for a very long time, and her name is Say It With Love and Flowers. And she does all kind of things with flowers, and yeah, she has wonderful pictures. So I asked her if I could use this one, and she said yes. So I'm very happy to have it on canvas right now. The size is 20 by 40 centimeter, and it's all acrylic on canvas. The next one is a very abstract painting, and it's called Laburnum, after the tree. When I start painting an abstract one, I don't know exactly where I'm going. I'm just playing around with some paint on my roller and some textures. There are 2 other paintings underneath, so that's already giving a lot of texture, a lot of layers. And when I'm working, mostly I get an idea of what it's going to be, like a landscape or maybe a flower field or a vase. In this one, only the word golden rain came up, and I thought I would title it Golden Rain after the tree. In Dutch, golden rain is the name for the tree, literally translated. So I thought this would be a good name for it. The size is 90 by 120 centimeters, and it's acrylic on canvas. These 4 pieces I made on wood, and I especially created them for the online class Trees in the Light, from pictures that we had from friends in October last year. The first one is called Solitary Tree. This one is called 2 Trees in the Hills. This one is called 2 Birch Trees. And the last one is called A Row of Trees. I work with acrylic ink and acrylic paint. And the size is 20 by 20 centimeters. These 2 sister canvases are called Abstract Vases with Blue Flowers and Blue Flowers in a Vase. And I had a lot of blue and green left over from another large painting, and I wanted to finish that, and I use it to play with these 2 in a very abstract way. The techniques are acrylic paint and acrylic ink, and there are also a lot of paintings underneath, so there's a lot of texture. And the sizes are 20 by 20 centimeters. This one is called Blue Garden, and it's a very abstract painting of flowers. It's a mixed media work. I created a lot of texture, and also I used paper in it, just like the angels. And I had a lot of fun creating this. It's painted on wood, and a special surprise is that on the back of this is another painting. I can't show it because there's another wooden panel behind it, like this. The size is 40 by 50 centimeters. This painting is called Blue Spring Flowers. It's a very abstract one, and I really loved just seeing what's coming up. I had a lot of fun with this as well. The size is 40 by 40 centimeter, and I used acrylic paint only, but there's a lot of texture in it because there was another painting underneath. And these ones are also called Wildflower Fields, but then with blue and purple flowers. I made this one partly in the studio and partly at home because the weather was beautiful, and I had flowers on my table, a bunch of flowers. I didn't copy them, but I used them as an inspiration. Maybe they'll come back in another painting. I worked the flowers out with acrylic ink to make them more detailed, and the size of these two is 50 by 20 centimeters, and I work with acrylic paint and acrylic ink. This one is called Hibiscus. I have exactly the same hibiscus in my garden, and last year I started painting these flowers in front of that plant, and it was really wonderful to do. I remember I plucked one flower to see it better and to paint it exactly the way. And when I held it in my hand, there was a bee coming into it and soaking up the honey, and it was really cool to do. So it was a wonderful process. But I had a very light background with strange patterns in it, and it was a bit of chaotic, and it was not the good color. It was a bit of like this. You see it in some places still, and I wanted to change that, but I didn't know how. And this year I had a color. I mixed up a color for another painting, but it didn't fit. It didn't match to that one, and I thought, the color. So I was browsing through all my unfinished paintings, and I saw this one, and I thought this color is perfect for this one, and I added it, and yeah, I think it has really succeeded. I always advise my students not to paint flowers first and after that the background, and I do know why I say that, because it's a really a hard job to get around all these flowers in that way. So, but it's completed and I'm very happy with it. And the size is 70 by 100 again, and it's all acrylic on canvas. This series is called Puzzle. I think you understand why. And this idea came by Claudia's Art Barn. You can find her on Instagram at claudia.s_artbarn, and she makes lovely pictures of birds, paintings of birds, and a lot of other things, but mainly she makes birds. I was working on a lot of blossom paintings, so I wanted to make my puzzle in that same style. The puzzle is 12 pieces, and each are 7 by 7 centimeters, and it's acrylic on canvas. And these ones are called blossoms, and they are sister canvases, or actually they're not canvases, they are on wood. They are not exactly the same size as you see here. It's a bit larger, They're made on wood. I really love working on wood, especially when you use acrylic inks. It's an amazing technique to do on wood. They're all 20 by 20 centimeters, except this one. This is my first project that I've started since I had to cancel my courses and lessons in the studio because of the COVID-19 virus. So I had plenty of time, and this was my first playful activity here in the studio for myself. This one is called Fresh Pink Flowers, and it's a very abstract flower painting, and I really enjoy making these. And I didn't want to work everything out too much, too detailed. I wanted to have it in an abstract way. The size is 40 by 40 centimeters, and also there was another painting underneath, so there is a lot of texture in it. This one is called Flower Field, pink and purple. And this was my first garden project of the year. I really love working in the garden, and it's very sunny there. And well, I don't know why. I love feeling the sun on my skin and seeing the colors very good. And well, I added first. I made up. I created a background with a roller, and I've used many layers. And by adding paint like the yellow and the pink in it, I already have some colors of that in my background, so it was a pleasure to work on it. And in the end I made some close-up detailed flowers like this one. Size is 70 by 100, and it's all acrylic on canvas. This one is called Wildflower Field. It's one of my favorite pieces that I made over the last few weeks. I really loved working with the pink, with the red, and I was really searching for a new color palette and mix it with more colors that I already been using, like this and this. So it can be a good combination with Rose Garden, which is also 60 by 60 centimeters, and I use the same material. I use acrylic paint. So that was it. I hope you enjoyed watching these new art pieces. And if you want to have a closer look, you can still see them all on my website, and that's looseartworks.com. And if you're able to visit my studio, we have all the stuff here, so you're welcome. Just send me an email to lose@looseartworks.com. I hope to see you soon. Bye.